Day class of 2019. I tried to find a teal shirt and I just couldn't, so I got as close as I could. I hope you can forgive me. But I did make sure to wear my God out tie tonight, so I came halfway. These graduations are particularly special for me because I'm a graduate of Southern High School. I graduated back in 1998, which for many of you guys is antes cuantos already. But it was in Southern High School where I really found myself. I really found my strengths. And before I do this presentation, I wanted to just briefly talk about what those strengths are and how special it is for you guys in particular to be graduates of Southern High School. Not only in your high school were you able to kind of figure out what your individual strengths and interests were, and not only were you able to figure out, who your friends were and what kind of relationships were important to you, but one of the strongest things that you are each going to have individually is sitting all across this auditorium tonight. You have an entire Southern community of 10,000 people, because that's the capacity of this field house. You have 10,000 people who are always going to have your back. They are always going to be there for you, and I know this because they've always been there for me. And when I was a senator and even running as a congressman, it was always the Southern community that would always encourage me and tell me that I'm doing a good job, and they would always be there for you, whether it's rough times or good times. And so you guys are very, very fortunate to have not only gone to Southern High School and learned what you have learned and built the relationships that you have amongst your peers, but you're very fortunate to have this entire community with you here today. So can we please give them a round of applause. And one of the reasons why it's a very, very precious strength is because even for me, when I'm thousands of miles away in Washington, D.C., and I'm the one guy from Guam in a room, and sometimes it's a room with 440 other members of Congress, all I gotta do is think back and know that I got this entire Southern community to always fall back on, so no matter what happens, you're gonna be okay, because you have a community that's going to support you. And it's just, you have no idea how strong that is and how that's going to carry you as you guys go about what it is that you're going to do with the rest of your lives. So always hold on to that, because it's going to carry you through some of your toughest times, and it's going to motivate you and inspire you to do things that you never thought were possible. When I graduated from Southern High School, I wasn't even in the top 10. I struggled as a student, and even when I went to college, I had my distractions. But it was always being able to know where you came from and being able to draw from the inspiration of your community and knowing that you just got to strive for something more. You got to do something better, and you got to succeed. That's what's going to make you succeed. Because these guys here are all counting on you, and they're always going to have your back. Mr. Regis, may I call you to the stage, please? One of my privileges as a congressman is I'm able to requisition special flags that have flown over our U.S. Capitol. And so, specifically for the graduating class of 2019, I asked the architect of the Capitol to please provide me with one of those flags. And so I brought Southern High's flag with me here today. This year also marks the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Guam. It's a very important year, so it's not just our graduations that we're celebrating here this year, but we're also remembering the sacrifices of our manamko and everything they've went through, all the sufferings that they've endured, to be able to give birth to the families that we have here today, and to be able to bring all of you into the world and raise you all with this very strong Southern culture and this very strong sense of community. And so I was very honored to be able to request this flag from the architect of the Capitol. And this flag is actually certified. And the certificate reads, the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol at the request of the Honorable Michael F. Nicolas, Member of Congress. This flag was flown for Southern High School in celebration of Guam's 75th Liberation Day. Mr. Regis, please fly this flag over Southern High School on the week of July 21st of this year to commemorate the 75th anniversary of our liberation. And also please continue to fly for the ensuing school year so the underclassmen can remember the achievements of the class of 2019 here today. If the school ever needs a replacement flag, my office will happy to provide. Congratulations, guys, and God bless you all.